Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Yeah, like really wanting to get a manicure because my nails grow so fast, and every like Thursday I'm like, I should get a manicure today, and then I'll look so fresh for the weekend, and then I'm like, I don't want to do it.
Well, I don't want to sit there that long.
I hate sitting there. My back hurts. And then I always feel like if they're like, relax your finger, I'm like, oh, fuck.
And
I'm
then
doing it wrong.
I don't know how long to sit under the ultraviolet. And I'm like, do you think they'll kick me out after a day here?
Yeah, I know.
I always wonder, how long can I push where they're like, ma'am, you need to leave.
Well, you're literally supposed to sit like at least 30 minutes, and it takes your nails a full hour to actually dry properly.
And they want you to be there with your thoughts. Like, you can't even get your phone
You can't
out.
look at a magazine. Yeah, you're like trying to look at it, and you're like, oh, I just ruined it.
It's so infuriating. And then I tried this is actually a side journey. We should also be like, hi guys, welcome to Lady
welcome
Journey.
to Lady Journey. We're already in it.
We're
talking
already
nails.
in it, and this is going to parlay nicely into your journey.
Yes.
But I just tried the stick-ons.
Oh, I saw that. You posted on the Instagram.
They're not bad.
I am into stick-ons.
Yes, they're not bad, and it's a cheap version, and you don't have to wait for it to dry. It is a process. I figured out if you just clip them instead of filing them off, it makes for a nicer tear and makes it last longer. And if one goes undone, there's like extra stickers that you can go
see. That's very valuable.
Yeah.
Instead of like, meanwhile, your like middle fingernail is like popped off, and you're like, this is who I am for the next 2 weeks until I can get in there.
I know. And usually when you get a manicure, I always have one nail that just starts being shitty
immediately
right out the gate, and you're like, well, this sucks, and I just spent like $30.
Yeah.
And then I tried the press-ons, and if you use the glue, it just like annihilates your nail bed.
And then your press-on's like stuck in your hair, and you don't know, and you're like, hi, what's everyone looking at? You're like a press-on on your bangs.
Is that a bug?
Yeah.
You're like, well, no, I just can't get my shit together.
It's just not relaxing. I will get a pedicure like every now and then. I'm like, okay, this is kind of relaxing, even though they're like tickling your foot, and you're like, yes. Sorry, that makes my foot like spasm when you like scrape the bottom of my sole.
Absolutely. Or sometimes I come in with the hairiest legs, and I'm like this. I apologize profusely of what I've done to you.
I'm so sorry.
It feels like I Me Too'd them.
Yes, it's supposed to be relaxing, but like getting a manicure is not relaxing at all. And getting acrylics, it's like that's 4 hours. It's like you're basically working.
Yeah, and then those, like, I got acrylics. I was really into them in my early 20s, and then it'd be waiting tables, and then you're putting on your shirt like this. The button up, like, because you can't touch anything.
Yeah, I can't have long nails because when I type, if my nail taps the keyboard, it gives me some kind of like visceral reaction.
Yes.
Where I'm like, ugh, I can't handle it.
Yeah, you just become kind of like an invalid.
Yeah. You're like,
I can't do any. Can you guys type this up for me?
It's like the like foot binding almost, where it's like, oh, you kind of can't get around, and it's like, but you know, it's so relaxing.
But it does look. I do have to say that I love the look.
The acrylics look amazing, and it looks like you spent hours and hours on it because you did.
Yes.
You know that person did not spend any less than like 3 hours.
Absolutely, and I want to do the ones like the one where Cardi B goes. I follow that account on my Instagram. I think it's called like Nails on 7th or something.
Yeah, and
they're so ornate, and I'm like, I just love the way that it looks, but like sometimes I feel like it would be such a departure from my regular look.
Yeah,
to come
I know.
In at the cellar where we're regulars at.
Where we were always performing. Every Friday and Saturday for one show each day.
At 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I want to get like, I will do this at some point when I have a big enough thing to celebrate, but I want to get like the ornate, they're kind of like gel, but it's like each nail is its own like little tiny portrait. And one time I saw a girl had strawberries, her little strawberry fingers, and they were so gorgeous.
It's adorable.
And you're like walking around like, get that dish soap away from me. I don't wash my hands. I do not bathe.
And you don't wash your hair.
No, you don't wash anything. But
absolutely. But yeah, that goes right into
My journey.
Your journey.
My journey. So, welcome to Lady Journey, everybody. We're so thankful that you are on the journey with us. We adore
you. On the journey
you.
every day. We like hearing from you. We do read every email as soon as they come in.
We don't always
Within
respond.
seconds.
We don't always respond to every email just because we're trying to keep our lives together. And we're barely hanging on. But we have some new Patreon people, and we're going to get to them in a little bit. And then actually maybe in the next episode, we are going to read a couple emails. So stay tuned for next time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We have some.
So my journey. So I watched a new documentary on HBO. Don't ask me what it's called.
Is it the one with the bottles?
No, it's
Like a cartoon? Okay, never mind.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched it, but it's like you would know if you have HBO Max because I put like 3 new documentaries on a month. So you're like, it's the one about makeup. And I think it's called something like Make Me Pretty.
Okay.
Something like that.
I think I've seen that one.
And it's like a 4-part series. I've only watched the first part because I got to the second part and I was like, I have to turn this off before I throw out everything in my home.
Okay, now now you've got me intrigued because I did not know I had a poison, lots of poisons in my cabinet
Poisons
right now.
abound. Poisons abound. Well, I had already been, as you know, on my kick of like spring cleaning, throwing out everything, which is like, I have something about me. I just like to clean the slate. Like every year or every 2 years or so in New York, you run into somebody that you know that has bed bugs.
Yes.
And that is a time I like to spiral. I go home. I throw out all my pillows.
Yeah.
I convince myself I have bed bugs. I throw out my pillows and then I sleep with no pillows for a few days.
Yeah.
So
I love this. Because we texted back and forth of like, does this happen to men where they go into a term of like, everything must go?
Everything must go.
It's toxic and poisonous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they do. And I know my boyfriend has a fear of bed bugs.
Okay,
so
definitely.
He won't go so far as to like throw out everything, but he definitely will tell me, he'll be like, when you go in the hotel, you put your suitcase in the bathtub. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
I do the one where I put it on that suitcase tray.
Yes. I'll put it on like the sink, the counter in the bathroom. I don't put it directly to the carpet.
Yes.
And I do have a hard shell. I always have hard shell luggage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
You got to get one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw out my luggage today.
Throw it out. Throw out the luggage. So this documentary, it's very great. I think it's called Make Me Pretty, but just look at the new HBO documentaries. You'll find it right away. So it's all about how basically, maybe you remember this a few years ago, there was a big lawsuit against the Johnson & Johnson baby powder because it causes mesothelioma.
I did not know that.
I kind of remember hearing about it, but basically baby powder is all made from talc, and talc only is naturally occurring exactly next to asbestos. That's the only play. They're like, talc and asbestos are like brothers.
Yes.
They're always together.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so everything that has talc in it has asbestos. And that's why people were getting mesothelioma from the baby powder, because they're inhaling it.
I had no idea. I had a friend growing up in high school used talc as straight face powder.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was kind of insane because it was like, Carrie, you look like a geisha.
Right. Like, hello. Well, I was looking, so they had like a few different girls who, like, one girl was like a makeup artist, whatever, ends up, she's like 26, she comes down with mesothelioma. And she's like, how did I get mesothelioma? Like, I don't use baby powder. So then she starts looking through her makeup. There's no regulation. All makeup that has talc in it, basically, it can be certified as asbestos free due to the fact that in the 70s, when Johnson & Johnson found out that talc gives people mesothelioma, instead of them putting their baby powder out of commission, they lobbied to the government and they changed the laws that if something, they can inspect the talc in a way, they inspect 1 teaspoon for every like 12 tons or something. Yeah. And if they don't find any asbestos in that, then it can technically be certified as asbestos-free talc.
Okay.
So all the makeup is certified as asbestos-free talc when they're not really actually checking it. And talc always has asbestos in it.
It's kind of like their regulation was like, how about if we just go into the warehouse, look at the pile, and if we don't feel like there's asbestos in there,
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. They're like, now they can just keep selling people like asbestos that you're like putting on your baby.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Putting it on your baby. It's like, here, this is for the baby's butt.
Yeah. Right on
like,
its genitals.
Right.
Yeah.
So the girl who came down with mesothelioma, she had all her makeup tested. She was like, every piece of my makeup that has talc in it has asbestos.
That's insane. I had no idea, and now I'm going to go
throw it out. And I went through because I was like, well, what's talc? What even is that?
Can it really be in everything? But I would assume that it's probably in most powders.
It's all powder. Everything that you have that is a powder has talc in it. It's in eyeshadow. It's in like I had like a Laura Mercier like just a little like face powder, and I looked talc. It all has talc in it, and my blush had talc, so I threw it all out. I threw it all out.
My God.
And I had been kind of wanting to just do like a big overhaul of my makeup anyway for a while because it's like, you know, you're not supposed to keep blush like that long anyway.
Oh, I have an eyeshadow palette that's getting close to 10 years.
Yeah. It's like that one you might want to throw it out anyway. Where you're like, why do I keep getting pink eye? I don't know.
And I'm really bad about cleaning my brushes too.
I'm so bad about cleaning the brushes too.
Yeah.
It's like once a year if I feel like I'm doing good. I did clean my brushes during spring cleaning. During my big.
I just don't want to get like the other tools for that.
Yeah, I know. It's a pain in the ass. But the thing about the talc is, like, you have to ask yourself, like, if all makeup has asbestos, basically, which is what this documentary is saying, it's like, wouldn't we know more people with mesothelioma? Like, wouldn't we know at least one person? Because, I mean, basically what the documentary was saying is, like, all talc has a potential to have asbestos in it, and they don't really test for it at all. So like if you see that something has talc in it, there's a high chance that it could have, and you only need one asbestos fiber to breathe in, which will cause mesothelioma.
Oh, I didn't even know. Because for me, most times when they're like, you know, that causes cancer, and then you find out you need to eat 20 tons of it.
Right. It's like bacon causes cancer. Actually, it's fine. No, it causes cancer again. Now it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
To know that like one strand can cause mesothelioma. Is that how you say it?
It's I'm not sure. Low T. It's low T. It's mesothelioma.
I've seen it on daytime TV with the lawyer being, have you been exposed to mesothelioma?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't know. Now I'm going to have to call them up.
It's in everything. But I checked all my makeup. So I went through, I threw everything out. And I had been wanting to throw out like, I had like a crappy liquid foundation that I just been like putting on my face for like 4 years. It didn't, but I just threw it out anyway.
Okay.
Because I had been getting really into the Sephora Clean brand because of my blepharitis, as everyone knows, my condition.
Will get a ping.
Yeah. I will be bringing it up if I meet you in person. Did I tell you that when I was in Seattle, I met this like lovely group of girls? They came to the show, and I had said something about blepharitis, and she was like, my boyfriend had that, and his mom had it too, and they finally found that they were able to really clean their eyelashes and get all the little bugs out, and then it went away. I was like, it's not bugs.
How dare you?
It's not bugs. Like, I'm just walking around like, yeah, I have mites.
Just like lightly talking about it. Yeah.
I have lice in my eyelashes.
I love when someone inadvertently insults and you're like, excuse me.
It's actually not what it is.
Yeah.
It's not what it is.
That's something else that your dirty boyfriend and her mother is going through.
It can be caused by mites, but I don't think mine is. Okay. Yes. I'm pretty sure it's not. But because I have been so into the Sephora Clean brand, Sephora has like a brand on their website. Everything's clean, so it has no parabens, no any of this other stuff, no talc. It has no talc, and it's all like vegan free, cruelty free, which I think that stuff is good too, because it's like if they have to test something on an animal to make sure it's not gonna like kill the animal, like let's not put it on me.
Yeah, I don't need it.
And then they had a second episode in the series that was all about parabens and how parabens are like causing mass infertility.
What is that?
Parabens, I actually turned the episode off because I was getting so freaked out, and I was like, I'm going to destroy my home.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy my home. But how funny, though, I was thinking, like, after, like, really only scratching the surface and not understanding it completely, like, how funny that, like, you get, like, a horrifically painful IUD.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was horrible, but at least now I won't have kids. And then you find out you're infertile because of hand lotion. Yeah. Like, could that have been the birth control? Could I have just been putting lotion on my hand?
I know. I love that when I was texting you and you were telling me about this.
I'm like, I just threw everything out.
That's out the window. And we were like, you know, do you think guys go through this? And you're like, meanwhile, Mike is spraying himself with Axe body spray.
Mike loves Axe body spray, and it smells so great on him, but it lingers. Like, a cloud of it lingers in the air where I'm like, walk through it, and I'm like, I just got Axe.
Yeah. I don't feel Axe. I know it gets a bad rap, but they are also owned by the same company that does Le Labo, which is the like high end perfumery. So Le Labo thinks they're the shit, but they're actually also Axe body spray.
That's so funny. You always find layers.
I know.
This is our Le Labo for the working class. Yeah, so the thing about parabens was, like, it's basically in everything. It's like, it's in perfume, it's in lotion, it's in
sunscreen too.
Sunscreen, all this stuff. I'm like, well, okay, I have that for sure.
I wanted to, you know, get an app that when you go to the grocery store, you scan the item and it lets you know what political affiliation that company is or like what diseases it causes. And then I love the idea of having that where we're just all naked.
Yeah. You're like,
can't eat
I'm
any
safe.
food.
I'm safe. Well, I did get not diagnosed, I would say, but my therapist years ago did point out that I have kind of like a fear of contamination.
Okay.
Which is just like kind of a normal thing. It's like just one of people's normal phobias, I guess.
Yes. I know a lot of people. Sometimes I think they would diagnose themselves as OCD, but I just actually think they just don't want to get contaminated.
I just don't want to be contaminated.
Yeah.
And I have been feeling it more because I was reading this other recent thing that came out. We were talking about this kind of in our eco-friendly episode about how there's microplastics in everything now. And it's basically like destroying your gut health. It's just goes into your body and then there's no way to get it out. And it's like all bottled water, all food that comes in plastic.
Yeah.
We have a Keurig where you're just putting hot water through plastic. And Mike was like, do you think that's bad? I'm like, why would it be bad? Why would the government allow a bad thing to be? And I love the Keurig. I'm like, should we throw it out? Get it out.
I know. I was a fan of the Keurig, but then after a week with it, you realize how much trash, and you're like, it's all plastic that you're like, this is not good.
We're thinking about getting rid of it. But then we have to throw away a bigger piece of plastic.
Oh my God. Speaking of, I saw this thing advertised to me on YouTube called the Lomi, and it's a compactor thing that you put all your organic kitchen material in, and you can also put some plastics in there and it'll slowly biodegrade it for you to turn it into like soil or something. But then it's just one big plastic bin.
Wow.
That I was like, is that better?
I know. It's like a giant another piece of plastic.
Yes. Like, how is that better for the environment?
Yeah, I'm suspicious with so much stuff like that where it's like, this isn't plastic. And you're like, yeah, but this is just now this is metal.
Yeah. So.
But I have my glass today. And I remember I was working recently. I was talking with this woman who I was like working with or something. And she was like, I remember her saying something to me. She was like, I don't drink out of cans because of metal. I'm like, but metal is the safe thing. And it's so funny how like each generation, it's like, no, plastic is bad. And it's like, no, metal is bad. This causes whatever.
Well, that's why I just do what I want.
Just do what you want.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Because, again, in diets like that, too, it'll be like, no fat. You cannot eat fat. And then the next thing we know, fat is really good for you. It's actually sugar.
Yes.
And then they'll be like, well,
Carbs.
Actually, you do need a little bit of sugar because it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just tell me. Although I will say intuitive eating does not work for me. And I think we talked about this on a recent level.
Then you're like, my body wants pizza.
Yeah, I think my body is telling me I need pizza.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to repeat stuff that we've already talked about, but.
Of course. Well, and then the other dilemma with makeup, and we talked about this a little bit beforehand, is that The problem with makeup is, and nowadays it's getting even more expensive. I get it. I put it on my face. I realize it's trash.
Yeah.
It doesn't last long. The color's not great. It's not a great product. Most makeup products I find to be not great.
Horrible. And that was one of the things it said in the documentary, where I was like, actually buying even like Christian Dior, that type of makeup is so expensive. It doesn't mean that it's sourced with finer ingredients. That's what you're like told to believe, is
right?
Like you get what you pay for with makeup. That's why like Drunk Elephant is like this much, and the stuff from the dollar store, you know.
Yeah, like I'm like, I think I could just wash my face with Dove soap, use the SPF, and that would be just as good as using Drunk Elephant.
Yeah.
But then you can't. I always felt like you can't return it. So then I have a drawer of just crap makeup products.
Yeah.
But you told me.
I told you that actually what I have heard is that Sephora has a return policy that you can take in any piece of makeup at any stage. Like you could have like, I don't know, a highlighter that you had used for like 3 years and take it in and be like, I do not like this and I want my money back. And they will just give it to you. I don't think you need a receipt even. I think like basically they have like a will take anything back return policy, which is crazy.
That blows my mind.
I should really
We're about
look into
to wreak
this.
havoc on Sephora.
Well, because I ordered a ton of new stuff, I was like keeping all the boxes and stuff. I was like, if I don't love any of this new stuff that I just bought, because I spent like, you know, I spent some good money on it. And I was like, I want to get the clean stuff. I want to get, you know, all the cruelty free. I want everything right.
Yeah.
And I want like good expensive stuff that if I'm gonna have this for like 4 years and not throw it away, I just want to have the nice kind.
Yeah. And there are products that I do like that I feel like are worth the money, but it's just like, it's hard to go through that trial and error process.
Yeah, when you're like, oh my gosh, this eyeshadow is like, now I have 4 lines on my lid and I look like I am a psychic.
I know. My sister made me laugh so hard. We were talking about like, you get makeup and like eyeliner or eyeshadow, and then they're always like, you got to blend. And then we're like, I do blend, but it's like this blending, and now it's gone.
I know. Yeah. Well, I did for my blepharitis, I did get a really great, and this has helped me so much. It's Milk Eyelid Primer.
Okay.
And I didn't get great reviews, but it really, for me, it makes so much of a difference. It's just like a cream you put on here.
Yeah.
And then it keeps the eyeshadow in place. So good. It's so good.
That's another thing. It gets bad reviews, but then you personally like it.
Yeah, it works for my eyes.
But that happens a lot. Like, I've been following Bethany Frankel on TikTok, and she's
doing her makeup throwouts. I love it.
She's going batshit crazy.
Yeah, she's like, spend $100 on this, terrible. Spend $100 on this, no good. I did it, so you don't have to. It's like, you're not okay, Bethany. You've been alone for too long.
I'm enjoying her journey though with it,
She's
and
on a journey.
I appreciate it. But sometimes she goes so fast. I'm like, this Bethany. What Neutrogena base are we supposed to get? But what was I going with this?
She's throwing out stuff.
Yeah, she's throwing out stuff. But I do appreciate. She'll have. Oh, this is the example. She was like Kosas. Concealer, all the influencers love this. It's trash. And then I was like, I just bought it because I was told that it was good.
Yeah.
And I don't really think it's that bad. But you're like, how is a makeup product for one person bad and good for another?
Yeah, it makes no sense. But I will say, in my new haul, I'm
excited. I want to see your new haul. We should put this on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some photos of it. My main pieces I got just to get through the stuff I threw out. I got a Bare Minerals foundation. It was $35, worth every penny.
Okay.
I've
heard good stuff about them.
It goes on so well. No talc, nothing. All certified clean. It stays on. I think like I put it on today, and you just put it on with your hands. There's no sponge. Like, it's fantastic. I got that. I got a Milk, which Milk is one of my new favorite clean products now. Milk Cream Blush. That one's great. And then my big one I got a Tatcha powder. It's all powder. Every powder has talc. I'm like, I'm never using it again. Yeah. Tatcha, it's powdered silk. and I just used a
Oh.
tiny bit. The powder that I have, I'm like, I've had this Laura Mercier crap powder that I got in like one of my little Sephora sample boxes or whatever. I've had it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I'll have this for a while so I can justify spending $25 on it.
Absolutely. And I don't mind spending money on a product that I feel like works. Like I bought the Charlotte Tilbury orange under eye corrector.
Yeah.
And it does help with the dark circles a little bit before you put on a concealer, but that was like $30. But it's a little thing like this big, and it's lasted me. I still have quite a bit in it 6 months later.
Yeah, it's like spending money on the stuff that's going to stay good.
That you use on a regular base. It's like every day that I use it.
Yeah.
So.
And it looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's so, I find the whole process of makeup, you're like, I really want to take a year off and just find the best stuff.
Right, right.
I want to pull a Bethany
Just
Frankel.
Buy everything. But I guess with Sephora, I mean, maybe we should do that. That could be a fun little episode.
I would
Just
love that. Just at Sephora, because that's an easy place to start off at.
Or just
one location.
buy it and bring it all back and try it on and then return it all.
Sephora,
Sorry.
watch out.
Sorry, Sephora. But I'm VIB, so
Yeah.
I deserve it.
I'm totally into that idea.
I have had so much stuff, and I think we might do this in one of our bonus episodes, but I've definitely had a lot of stuff that I've bought, and I'm like, that I just pissed away $35 because I thought this was going to fix my lips.
Yes. Yes.
And I have to say, too, like, the best I've ever looked is when I will do, like, I did my 21-day sugar detox. My skin looks so amazing until I immediately start eating sugar again. But, like, those 3 days towards the end, people are like, do you get filler? Like, you look really great. I'm like, I've been drinking water. I haven't had alcohol. And I've been not eating sugar. And that is, like, you could spend hundreds of dollars on makeup, anything, like a facelift. Like, that's the key.
Yeah.
It's, like, eating healthy and drinking water and not, like, having a double vodka soda every time you get off stage, which is, I'm like, this is my special water. Uh-oh. Hello.
Oh. No, absolutely. I do feel like, avoiding like alcohol is the best.
Yeah, it's not
bet.
good. It's not good.
I did switch a little bit of my skincare. I follow like dermatologists that are like things that you can get at the store that do help. And I think I got vitamin D oil.
Ooh,
and a vitamin C. So I mix those together.
What do you put that on?
In the morning on my face as my moisturizer before my SPF. And then I've been doing, since I just had a birthday.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
But when you realize you're now approaching another decade.
Yeah, you're in a different skin range.
That I decided to up it a bit.
Good for you.
To go extreme before any plastic surgery or anything like that.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about plastic surgery, like Botox and filler and all that
I'm
stuff.
talking about a full face, completely changing my face.
But I do actually think a facelift might be better than fucking filler. Because at least you can kind of... I always thought that Joan Rivers looked insane on her initial facelift, but over the years, she grew into it.
Yeah, when she got that first facelift, it was like... I think actually the
In
one
the
you're
80s.
thinking of was like not even her first facelift. That was like probably her like third.
Yeah.
And that was when it was like they didn't have the technology really. And they were like, they're just kind of fucking around.
We should really give props to the women of the 80s that just...
Pioneers.
Just put their face under, which is so wild to me.
Yeah.
Because even now we still don't have proper science for everything.
No. I know it. I think a facelift is better just because you're like, you just get a little anesthesia. Like, restful.
And if you
filler, you're like, it's hurting. It's supposed to be like incredibly painful. I'm like, I can't get it.
No, like for a few days and it looks insane. And then I also just feel like Madonna's starting to look like Jigsaw from Saw.
Madonna is a character in a horror film. That's who she's become. And I know that there are people that listen to the podcast that are going to take that badly.
Yeah.
And I will issue an apology in the blog.
Ahead of time, yes. But I've upped it. I've decided to do ordinary retinol.
Yes, yeah.
I
Good
don't
for
know, but I
you.
feel a light burning, so I think it's working.
Yeah, I have a retinol night cream, which I don't always use because I don't like to wash my face first thing in the morning sometimes.
Yeah.
But you feel like you can't expose retinol to the sun.
No, so
it
I always
messes
make
you up.
sure, and you should be wearing SPF
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
But I do find makeup to be so fun because it is very transformative.
Yes, it's exciting.
Like, have you ever seen before and afters of porn stars?
I love those.
They go from like, not the most attractive woman to like, of course they kind of minorly look like drag queens, but a lot of them look like Pam Anderson.
They look awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
looks great.
Although I feel like I just have a more naturalistic. I just look better with like natural makeup because I've had that makeup done like that a couple times, like the whole full like contouring, and I'm like, this looks bad on me. I have more kind of just like a down to earth.
Yeah, where you're like, I'm a glossy robot.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
extreme edges right now.
Yeah.
And another thing too, I find if you're going to some place that they do makeup, come in with the makeup on your face already that you like.
Absolutely.
Because at least it's a guide. Because I'm gonna just name names. When we did the Vuza shoots,
Yes.
some of those makeup artists, I remember looking at old videos of those and like, I just assumed that they were experts.
Meanwhile, it was just like a random person that had like a makeup kit. Just like going at it. You're like, what? Should you be putting your mouth on the brush?
I know.
Miss? But you don't want to say anything, so you're just like, I got herpes.
Yeah. There were times where I'm like, what is happening to my face?
What is happening?
It was insane. So I learned my lesson. You come in with the makeup that you like, that you do for yourself, and then they'll just like emphasize it where it's better.
Yes. Yes. We are already so far into this episode, and we haven't even started your journey.
Well, we can put my journey on a later
We'll do your
one.
journey. Okay, because I do have a couple more things I want to say.
Okay, great.
About
great.
makeup.
It's a big one. I
It's
think
a
it
big
plays
one.
a huge part in our life. Some people, I hate the guys that are like, I like a woman with a natural face. And you're like, no, you don't.
That's not a natural face. That's natural looking makeup.
Yeah. Because I've showed up to work and I get this from a guy, or have you been crying?
Yeah.
Or,
you look tired.
You
You're
look
like,
tired.
I
You're
am
like,
tired.
because I didn't put any makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, now that I have been wearing eyeliner and eyeshadow again, now that I found like the right products for my blepharitis, I feel so much better. I can really tell the difference. I don't like the look of a naked eye on myself.
I don't either. I prefer the tight line.
I love a tight line, and you're not supposed to do that with blepharitis. It's like the worst thing you can do because you're
My
like blocking
God.
But the Isla eyeliner that I have is great.
For the tight line?
It's good for tight lining, and it also like I think one of the reasons I had my blepharitis was triggered so hard was because I just didn't have a strong enough makeup remover to take off the strength of makeup that I was wearing. I was
Okay.
wearing like hardcore like MAC Kohl eyeliner and the Better Than Sex mascara, and I would like scrub and scrub and scrub, and then I'd be like, oh, I guess there's a little on there still, like whatever.
Yeah.
So I
was
guess
like, it'll
it was
wash
my
off in the
own.
morning.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
So it was like I had bad eyelid hygiene. So actually it was my fault.
Not mites.
Yeah, I had little bugs. But no, the whole thing about makeup and the fear of contamination and the fear of plastics has just been with me lately. It's been
Yes.
with me. It's been kind of like spring cleaning, and I started actually drinking out of a water filter, which I have never done. I've always drank tap water in New York.
Yeah, because I've been told right the first day that I got off the plane, we have really great water.
We
in
have
here.
really great water. This is the best water. It's like, that's why bagels are good.
I know, and
It's
then
like-
you're like, have you gone outside?
I know, but
It looks awful.
and it is supposed to be really good water because it is filtered through the Catskill Mountains. So it's like New York, Connecticut, they all have this filtered water, but it's like, yeah, it's still treated.
Yeah.
It's still treated with chlorine. And chlorine is like so bad for you. And I was like, I just researched it recently because I was like thinking about the makeup, and then I just saw something on TikTok about, which is where I get my news, as you know. I just have to stay up on what's happening in the world. I saw something on TikTok that was about how the water was chlorinated. I was like, well, not the New York City water. And I Googled it. and
It's
which is how I
straight from
check
a
my
pool.
thoughts. Yeah, it's like heavily chlorinated, and the only way to remove it is drinking from a water filter. And I've been drinking tap water. I'm from Indiana. It's like a landlocked place. I grew up drinking tap water. The water there is horrific. It's very bad. You drink it and you're like, oh,
it has like sometimes a fart smell to it.
Yeah, like that's the well water, which is actually better for you than like the city water, which is just recycled pee basically. You just drink it. You're like in a closed system. There's one river in Indianapolis, and it's like very polluted.
Yeah, and
like,
you're like, have you seen some of the people that live in New York City?
Yeah,
Dirty. Yeah.
And meanwhile, we're just like flushing everything. If I like mop and like just flush the dirty water down the toilet. I'm like, is that? I think in New York, like some of the water's recycled, and then my dad worked in like the wastewater industry, so he kind of knows about I know about like those intimate details of that from him, which it's actually really fascinating that we have that technology. But I think in New York, some of the water is fresh from the mountains and some is recycled. But I'm on, and it's such a pain in the ass to drink from the
and to carry
pitcher.
it with you.
To carry it with you. It's like, I don't want to drink plastic. Now I just want to drink my little bottle one. Now I'm like becoming like one of those people that like takes a sandwich in a bag wherever they go. Like, I don't trust the food.
Yes.
But that's my journey, my descent into madness.
Yes. Well, at least it's you get to try out makeup products. Fresh start.
Yes, fresh start. And now I want to take a moment to thank everybody. I want to thank the Patreon people. Thank you so much for being with us. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys help pay for at least for keeping the upkeep for all this.
Yes, you're helping pay for my makeup. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We need about 100 more people to help on that one.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome the new Patreon people. We've had some new people, so I brought a stone for each of you. This is to welcome Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
Jenna, welcome. This is you.
We're delving into madness.
We are. This is from my personal stone collection. It's a piece of citrine that I bought back in 2009 when I was briefly dating a guy who had kidney problems. I bought this stone because it's supposed to be a very healing stone, and I thought I will give it to him, but we did not go on a third date.
Okay.
He got back with his ex-girlfriend. But his dad owned 5 Papa John's in the Louisville area. And so this is for Jenna. Okay. So thank you for joining us, Jenna. And I also want to welcome Lawrence. I brought this beautiful piece of obsidian to welcome Lawrence. And this was actually given to me by a girl I used to teach preschool with. And I think she gave this to me as a way to help me stay calm during the day. Of like, here, she got some little stones on a trip.
Kid senses an adult's anxiety.
I'm like teaching and I'm like, all I need is my stones. This will help. Then we also have Luca. Okay, Luca, your stone can be this piece of quartz I bought one time when I was in a toxic relationship because I thought this would help. And it kind of did. Not the relationship, but it helped me. I kind of used it for, to harness my own power.
Okay.
Thank you, Luke. Sorry. Was that Lawrence or Luca? We have too many L's.
Do we do Ed?
Ed is going to be, okay, Ed. Hello. This is actually a lovely piece. My old roommate, Terry, from college, she gave this to me. She studied abroad in South Korea, and this was a piece of jade that she gave me for my birthday.
Very
How cool
nice.
is that? Ed, welcome. And then who's our last person?
M.O.? We couldn't... The handle.
Yeah.
She just reached out to us today.
We love you, M.O., but we're not sure what your name is, or if this is
so I'm going
to
assume like an Emma or
Emma,
an Emily.
maybe. M.O. This is a piece of, I think this is, I forget what this is called. I think it's called like hedrolite or something like this. My aunt gave this to me, and she's very into crystals.
It would be funny if you found out this is just soap.
You are this crystal that I used to wash my body. It's like so weird. It says Dove. So that is one of our Patreon bonuses. We welcome our new patrons by telling us tale about one of my crystals. I came up with this. It's called content development. And I have a lot more crystals. So we have
this new journey.
This is such a new fun crystal journey, and it's a way to let everybody know. And I hope whoever got this one didn't feel bad that
Lawrence.
You got the small one.
But
Sorry, Lawrence.
It's got a nice sheen on it.
Yes, it
so
does.
I love the idea that if we get, for every Patreon member, we will get a new rock dedicated to you.
We will dedicate you a rock.
A pile of rocks.
Yes. And it may have a backstory about how I was trying to put my life together in my 20s.
So if you love that,
If you love
join
that.
our Patreon. We have several tiers. We have a
$5 tier,
$10
$10,
tier.
and $20 tier.
$20 you get a mug, and we've got some recipients of the mug.
Yes, you get a mug, and then you also get to come to our monthly live episodes. So you get to interact with us, and it's really fun. And if you are not up for joining the Patreon, no big.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, because then we can later on, hopefully if we get enough people, we'll monetize from there.
Yes. Lady Journey.
Lady Journey.